This is my ALPS Mountaineering King Kong chair, and in this video we'll be testing for its ease of setup and pack away, seat size, seat height, backrest height, material storage, and more, and then comparing it to other similar chairs like the Coleman Big and Tall, Coleman Cooler Quad, and the Yeti Trailhead. These are some of the biggest chairs on the market, and we'll find out whether the King Kong is the best of them all, or if it's not, which of these is better for you instead. To set up this chair, first undo the drawstring on the carry bag and release the cinch. Next, stand the carry bag upright, then bend down to pull down on the bag. I'm not very strong, the chair is quite heavy, and the carry bag is quite tight at the top, so I found this to be the easiest way. Now, this is the back of the chair, and these are the armrests. The next tip here is to grab two opposite corners, pull them away from each other, and your chair will be all set up. When I timed myself setting it up, it took me just 17 seconds. To pack away the chair, grab two opposite corners again, lift it up, and pull everything together. Next, if you're not strong like me, you'll want to lay it flat on the ground. It's much easier to slide the chair feet back into the carry bag this way. When the bottom half of the chair is back in, so basically the frame of the chair is back into the bag, stand it upright and squeeze the rest of the fabric in. There's a lot of material at the top of the chair, and the carry bag is a bit tight, so it'll take a bit longer to pack everything away. It helps to lift the bag and you shake the chair in every few seconds when folding it in. Here's another full time lapse, and my entire pack away took me about 48 seconds, including getting it back into the bag. As for unfolded dimensions, here's what I measured. The longest width from armrest to armrest comes in at about 35.5 inches. The longest length, which is from the back of the chair to the front of the seat, comes in at 25 inches. And the total height comes in at almost 37.75 inches from the ground to the top of the chair. Now, if you want more detailed seat measurements, here's everything to know, starting with the seat size, which is supposed to be about 24 inches in width and 20 inches in depth. When I measured the seat width from side to side, that really did come in at almost 24 inches. But take note that the width at the front, after taking into account the two steel bars by the sides, is actually only about 19.5 inches or almost 4.5 inches less. So this might give you less space than what you were expecting, but for me it was still more than enough. Seat depth from the back to the front of the seat is 20 inches, so exactly in line with the marketed specs too. Next, we're going to measure the actual seat height of this chair. According to ALPS Mountaineering though, that should be about 19 inches. Now, when I measured the seat height from the front of the chair with no one sitting on it, it really did come in at exactly 19 inches. However, after I sat down and I measured the height from the ground upwards to where I was sitting down, that came in at just 15 inches. So the seat actually sinks down by about 4 inches. Still, it was more than a decent seat height, almost comparable to like any office or dining chair that you may have at home. Moving on to the backrest measurements, here's what was given. The height should be about 22 inches. If you're wondering what the backrest height is, that's from where the seat ends to the top of the chair. And for me, this came in at slightly less than marketed 21.25 inch. As for the backrest width, that's about 22 inches. This is slightly higher than a typical camp chair, but the top was rather floppy. So even though the chair extends past my neck, there was not much neck support at all. At least it was enough to cover my entire back though. Lastly, the angle of recline from the side taken with a digital protractor is about 10 degrees, so slightly reclined. Now we're moving into features, starting with the armrests. These are slightly padded, made of the same material as the rest of the chair, I think. One plus we have here is that these are fully adjustable using these buckles at the back of the chair. If your arms are shorter, you can adjust the armrests upwards. And if you have longer arms, you move the armrest downwards instead, so you'd have more space to rest your arms. Other features this chair has are two mesh beverage holders, one on the left armrest and the other on the right. Each has a diameter of slightly more than 3 inches, so at best this fits like cans and plastic bottles. It's also relatively shallow, coming in at just 2¼ inch in length, but I think this was mostly meant to just fit cans, that's why. Next, we have pockets. On each armrest, we have one stash pocket each, so 2 altogether here. These are quite generously sized, coming in at 10½ inches in length by 7¾ inch in width. So if you want a place to fit your bottles or your tumblers, here's where to do it. You can also fit other stuff like your sunnies or your phone. And that's not all. At the back of the chair, we also have another mesh pocket. This is also very generously sized, coming in at almost 18 inches in length by 4½ inches width. I could fit lots of stuff here as well. As for materials and quality, we'll start with the chair fabric. This is 600D polyester and very thickly padded. When I conducted a 1-hour sit test with this chair, I measured the starting temperature and then the ending temperature 1 hour later, and I found that the chair warmed up by a whopping more than 14 degrees. This is one of the warmest chairs I've ever tested so far, which made me sweat quite a bit in hot weather. As for poles, the entire frame is made of steel. These measured about 3/4 inch thick across the entire chair. This also has your typical X-pole structure across the entire chair as well, which is the same as most camp chairs. The rivets are simple, typical of more budget camping chairs too, but they've held up well so far. The feet are definitely larger than most though, and this is meant to prevent tipping. I found most of the relevant material information here. This chair comes with a lifetime warranty, and it's made in China. Next, for portability, this chair is quite big and has a pack size of about 39¼ inch in length by 8½ inches in width and 7¼ inch in height. For some reference, that's about 65% longer than a 2-person Coleman Thunder 10. For ease of carry, the bag has 2 backpack straps. These are not padded, but they are adjustable using these buckles, so I could get it to fit me perfectly. The weight of the chair comes in at 13.2 pounds. The storage bag is 0.5 pounds or 8.22 ounces if you need that info. And the total weight is 13.7 pounds. Compared to the marketed portability specs, mine was a bit smaller in terms of pack size, but a bit heavier in terms of weight. Now, how does this ALPS Mountaineering King Kong chair compare to other oversized camp chairs? So far, I've tested a few others from different brands. We've got 2 from Coleman here, the Big and Tall and the Cooler Quad, and 1 from Yeti, which is the Yeti Trailhead. Before we get into the ultimate comparison, if you found this video helpful so far, please help me hit that like button. It really helps me out. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. Now, we'll go through an epic comparison between these 4 different camp chairs. You'll find the brand on the top row, and a model of the particular chair that I tested below that. Now, first, we're going to look at the seat size of each chair. So that's my personal measurements of the width and depth of each seat. As you might have expected, the King Kong has the biggest seat, followed by the Coleman Big and Tall, the Coleman Cooler Quad, and then the Yeti. The King Kong was so big that I could actually sit with my legs crossed comfortably on this chair with no issues at all. And in the rest of this video, notice that I'll color code only the very best chair in each test in green, and the other 3 will be red for your easy reference. Next, we'll look at the backrest height, and the Yeti is the tallest of them all. It's tall enough that I was able to scoot down the chair and rest my head on the backrest. I couldn't do so for the rest of the chairs here. And one tip, the cooler quad seems like it has a high backrest, but it was so flimsy at the top that it doesn't give me any neck support at all. In fact, I could bend the whole thing down, and the real backrest height was actually only about 19 inches. As for seat height, the Yeti is the tallest and the Coleman Cooler Quad was the lowest. For lumbar support, the Yeti has yet again the best support of all the chairs. When you sit on the Yeti, the chair's seat doesn't actually sink down by much, only about 1.5 inches of give, giving you the best lumbar support of any camp chair that I've ever tested. For the big and tall, the seat slouches in about 3 inches, so you get semi-support. It slouches 4 inches for the King Kong and more than 5 inches for the Cooler Quad. Now, typical camp chairs have very little recline, coming in at between 9 to 10 degrees as you can see here, and the Yeti is significantly more reclined for much more comfort. And when it comes to mesh, the Yeti is made of a full mesh-like construction all around the entire chair, which was so great for hot summer days. The rest of the chairs ran quite hot like you saw in the King Kong testing somewhere in the middle of this video. As for armrests, the King Kong has the best adjustable ones because it comes with these buckles at the back. For the Coleman chairs, they don't have buckles, so eventually they'll start slipping on their own. As for pockets, the King Kong and Big and Tall have the most pockets, but the King Kong's pockets are way bigger. In fact, I think they're the biggest of any camp chair that I've tested. As for cup holders, only the King Kong has 2 cup holders. As for materials, the ALPS King Kong and both Coleman chairs have very standard materials, a powder-coated steel frame, polyester chair fabric, and simple pole rivets. They were basically all the same across all the chairs. I thought here that the Yeti was the highest quality because it came with super thick poles, a polyester and polypropylene mesh blend, and the biggest pole rivets of any camp chair. As for weight capacity, the King Kong is the best at 800 pounds. You'll also get a lifetime warranty with this chair, which is the best again. Now, when it comes to the setup and pack away, here's where the Cooler Quad finally shines because it has the fastest setup and pack away. But bear in mind that that's only because it's the lightest and smallest chair. Generally, the heavier the chair, the longer it'll take to set up. And finally, for MSRP, here's all the info you'll need. Now, here's a full comparison between all 4 of the biggest camp chairs I've ever tested. And here's why I color-coded the chart, so you can easily see which chair is the best in which category. For the Yeti, it's the best in terms of comfort, with the tallest backrest, tallest seat height, best lumbar support, and more. It's also the best quality camp chair that I've ever tested, with amazing pole structure and super breezy mesh. As for the Cooler Quad, it's the best in terms of portability, and it's also the cheapest in case that's what you're looking for. Now, the King Kong has quite an even spread across all the different tests, with a huge seat size, great features, a high weight limit, and a lifetime warranty. And the Big and Tall is a very decent chair, but it actually loses out to the King Kong because it has almost nothing in green. So overall, you can see that the Yeti did the best, winning a whopping 8 tests, but it also comes with a massive $300 price tag. As for the King Kong, that came in second after the Yeti, beating out the other chairs in 6 tests, and it costs a fraction of the price. So, is the King Kong the best oversized camp chair? In terms of pure scoring, it's not because it comes in second to the Yeti. But if you're looking for the best value for money, then that's definitely the King Kong. If you're interested in other types of camping chairs, I actually bought and tested 20 different chairs here. You can check them all out in a single video right here on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in that one.